Take us live. Is there a problem?
There was, but there is not now.
All right, are we live?
Yes.
Okay. Let me know that from now on.
Sorry.
Okay, that's all right. I lost my show file here, folks. Had to scramble and find it somewhere else. So, good afternoon, everybody.
Yes.
Today, now our show is called Back From CAG 2026. CAG stands for California Autoharp Gathering. And boy, I'll tell you what, it was a lot of fun. And so I am going to share with you the songs from the concert I did on Thursday night, a week ago Thursday night, in a lineup which was called Night of Champions. All 5 performers had won championships of one kind or another, either Autoharp or one guy, best flat picking guitar player I've ever heard in my life. He won that once. So anyway.
We have Libby.
Hey, Libby.
Libby says, hello, here I am to listen to you.
All right.
So happy you got home safely.
Yeah, it wasn't the best of times, but I'll talk about that in a little bit here. Today I'll sing some of the songs that we do on the show about the people, places, and animals down home. We'll start with one about a grandma down home who met a very strange equine. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs. He was a wonky donkey, wonky donkey, wonky donkey, yeah. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs and 1 eye. He was a winky wonky donkey, winky wonky donkey, winky wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye, and he liked to listen to country music. Yee-haw! He was a honky-tonky, winky wonky donkey. Honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music, and he was quite tall and slim. He was a lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. Lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim, and he smelled really bad. He was a stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. Stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really bad. And that morning he got up late and he hadn't had any coffee. He was a cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. Cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky donkey. I was walking down the road and I saw a donkey-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music and he was quite tall and slim. He smelled really bad. That morning he got up late and he hadn't had any coffee. and he was always getting up to mischief. He was a hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. Hanky-panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky-tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. I was walking down the road, and I saw a donkey, hee-haw. He only had 3 legs, 1 eye. He liked to listen to country music. He was quite tall and slim. He smelled really bad. That morning he got up late, and he hadn't had any coffee. He was always getting up to mischief, but he was quite good looking. He was a spunky, hanky, panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. Spunky, hanky, panky, cranky, stinky, dinky, lanky, honky, tonky, winky, wonky, donkey. I was walking down the road, and I saw a donkey, hee-haw.
Libby said, I'm smiling so big. That song gets me every time.
Yeah.
It does me too.
It's funny. It started out as a picture book for a little kid, you know, where you got a few words and then a picture on each page.
Yeah.
And the first time I heard it was there was this old Scottish grandma who was trying to read it to her grandchild and couldn't get through it because she was laughing so hard. And then I found it on YouTube, you know, the song, and that's how we all got together.
Laura Hardin is here.
Hey, Laura.
Rock mostly got out just now, so I am early here.
Hey, that's great. Well, you've only
Welcome.
You've only missed one song, so you can pretend that you're at CAG and you're listening to my concert. Because that's what we're doing today. We're doing all the songs that we did in the concert, plus a couple of extra to fill out the hour. So, and here's a song about an old boy from down home who found himself completely out of his element. Well, I went to the Chez Perry. Food was good there, I'd been told. They said I ought to try some at their Vichy swallows, but when they brought it, heck, it was cold. I said, don't you just have some tomato soup? And he said, the gazpacho is awfully nice. I said, well, bring me a big bowl of that. He did, dad blamed if it wasn't cold as ice. Oh, you can have those high-priced gourmet restaurants. Yeah, the waiters act snooty and dress kind of goofy, and they won't bring you what you want. Well, I like greens, cornbread and beans, and a big old glass of iced tea. I tell you, friends, those gourmet restaurants ain't for me. Well, a few months later, some friends insisted we try out the Chateau LaRue. After waiting an hour and a half, we finally sat down, and heck, I couldn't even read the menu. So I asked the waiter, how's the beef? He said, the steak tartare is the best you ever had. But when he brought it, friends, I thought I'd seen rare meat, but this wasn't even hurt real bad. Couple Band-Aids and that boy been back out there grazing. Well, I just couldn't eat that steak tartare. I was confused in every way. I wasn't even too sure about the soup du jour. I hear they change that every day. And then the waiter said, Monsieur, I have frog legs that are guaranteed to please. I said, well, hooray, boy, hop on back there in the kitchen and bring me a grilled cheese. Oh, you can have those high-priced gourmet restaurants. Yeah, the waiters act snooty and dress kind of goofy, and they won't bring you what you want. Well, I like greens, cornbread and beans, and a big old glass of iced tea. I tell you, friends, those gourmet restaurants ain't for me. Well, they said I ought to at least try out some of their wonderful desserts. I hadn't been able to eat anything else, so I figured, heck, what could it hurt? I thought I'd like a little ice cream, and the waiter said if that was my desire. The cherry jubilee is magnifique, but when he brought it, Heck, it was on fire. I jumped up, throwed a bowl of that cold potato soup on it before it could set off the sprinkler system. Probably saved them from a major fire. But did they appreciate it? No. Asked me not to never come back. No need to worry about that. Oh, you can have those high-priced gourmet restaurants. Yeah, the waiters act snooty and dress kind of goofy, and they won't bring you what you want. Well, I like greens, cornbread and beans, and a big old glass of iced tea. I tell you, friends, those gourmet restaurants ain't for me. They said the food at that place was fit for a king. And they were right. Here, king. Here, boy. Beef tornado. Now, what's that? Steak that's been run over by an Oldsmobile? Now, I can understand chocolate eggs and chocolate bunny rabbits, but a chocolate mousse ain't never gonna catch on. Seems like all it takes to qualify for gourmet food is for it to either be raw or on fire.
Yes.
Oh dear. All right. We didn't get invites. I tell you, folks, the gathering ended Sunday night. Everybody headed out Monday. We had a Tuesday morning flight. So we stayed in a hotel right across from the airport. Wake up Tuesday, ready to go home? Nope, not gonna do it. Our flight was canceled.
Right.
For weather in Dallas. Well, I don't want them to risk airplanes. I don't want to crash because somebody's trying to, land in a thunderstorm or whatever. So that's okay. So we scheduled a flight for later in the day. Same route, Dallas to Birmingham, Alabama. And Dad blamed if that one wasn't canceled. So then we set up a third flight for Wednesday morning, and that one was canceled. A little later, So we got on the phone with the people and said, look, I need to get home sometime before I die of old age. What can you do for me?
Right.
Well, they found us a flight from Fresno to Dallas and thence to Huntsville, which was really better because it's closer than Birmingham is to us. And by golly, that flight actually happened. It was wonderful.
Was there a delay on it?
Yeah, there were some minor delays.
Yeah.
So the result was we didn't get home till 2 o'clock in the morning, Thursday?
Something like that.
Yeah, it's like, dark 100 Thursday morning. We finally get home. And I was so wound up I couldn't sleep. But the worst part of all of this, from my point of view, was that, I figured we'd spend a night in the hotel and we'd head out at 6 in the morning Tuesday to go home. So I brought enough dog food for Indy through Monday.
Right.
We're into Wednesday mid-morning. The poor dog hadn't had anything to eat for damn near 2 days. Now, dogs can handle that in the wild and all, but when they're not used to it, he started to kind of bring up some phlegm and stuff that we had to clean up in the hotel room. So we went down to the place where they served breakfast, and they were about to close. Nobody was in there. And the lady came over to us and kind of confused because we'd already been in there once. And I said, look, I really, really need your help. And I told her what happened. The dog didn't get anything to eat. Do you have any oatmeal? Just plain oatmeal. No flavorings, no butter, just oatmeal boiled in water. And she said, yeah, we do. But it'll cost you $3. I said, hey, that's okay. It's cheap at twice the price, So she gave us 4 servings of oatmeal for $3, and I left her a little tip under the salt shaker because the people don't tip much anymore, and at least not in that place. So we got up to the room, and by then it had cooled off, and he ate the oatmeal. But, it was just a nightmare trying to get back here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll ever want to fly again, that's for sure.
Well, you'd already had trouble the last time you flew.
Yeah, this stuff seems to be getting more and more prevalent. And I was talking to seasoned travelers in the airports, people who have to travel a lot for their jobs, and they said, yeah, it's getting worse every day.
Oh.
It's hard to get anywhere on time anymore. So anyway.
Libby said, great on your restaurant song.
Thank you, Libby.
And Pat Byrne is with us.
Hello, Pat.
And
Good evening.
Said, hi, George. And then he said, hi, Lynn. And then he said, I see. And Libby said, I was just thinking about Indy's food, and you mention it, poor boy.
Yeah.
And then Pat said, wow, you guys got it bad.
Yeah, we did.
And then he said, what? And then he said, oh, dear.
Yeah. That's...
travel is not...
Travel is not fun, and it especially isn't fun if you're disabled and traveling with a service animal. You're supposed to get bulkhead seats.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
See who that is.
That's Sam.
Hang up. Pick it up and tell him we're in the middle of our show and hang up.
Hey. Yeah, okay. Bye. He heard you.
Okay.
So
yeah. That's my buddy Sam. See, it's live and unrehearsed, folks. What can I tell you?
And then Pat said, not good.
No.
No, we were feeling that emotion as well.
It was
not good.
It was but the gathering was really worth it.
Yes.
So let us return to our music.
Yes.
As soon as I get around to it, I'm going to sing a song about the perils of procrastination. As soon as I get around to it.
Pat said, George, it's very bad. Yes. As soon as you get around to it. That one almost went by me.
Summer is upon us and the sun is blistering, and all of my valuables turn up missing. Can't find my lawn chair, can't find my radio, can't find the yard rake, can't find the garden hose, can't find the cans to throw away the trash. Maybe I should cut the grass. The fescue growing up higher and higher. Guess I went a little crazy with the fertilizer. Can't find the barbecue, can't find the meat, can't see the neighbor's house across the street, can't find my rear end with a spyglass. Maybe I should cut the grass. Would have done it earlier, but I'm allergic. Much too cheap to get a service. Ticket from the city for a violation. Neighbors think I'm dead or on a long vacation. Well, I got a new shiny riding mower. It's a 3-blade cutter with 4 cup holders. Where it's gone to is just bewildering. Went to ask my wife and children. Found her keys and purse, but they ain't come back. Maybe I should cut the grass. Get a herd of goats so they can chew it. Law and order lawyer said he could sue it. Yoga teacher said I should breathe and stay calm. I'm on Craigslist trying to buy some napalm. Well, it's gotten so quiet you can't hear the wind blow. And it's getting kinda shady round the upstairs windows. The dog just whimpers and won't go outside. I sit up in my bed at night, listening to the lawn clawing at the glass. Maybe I should cut the grass. Maybe I should cut the grass. Maybe I should cut the grass.
Uh-oh.
Too late. He's been swallowed up.
Oh dear. Laura said, I went to an Italian restaurant once and asked for grilled vegetables, which was on the menu. Instead, I got cheese and ham. Not what I asked for. Never went there again.
Yeah.
And Pat said, speaking about grass, my trimmers let me down. And Libby said, maybe I should smoke the grass.
There you go. There's a thought.
Alternative words.
Yeah. Hadn't thought of that.
And Pat said, the lawnmower works great. Good.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Time waits on no one. Here's a story about an older feller who's making the most of every minute. I'm on a first name basis with Mama Time. These days I'm walking mighty slow, but I'm running in my mind. When I give my body orders, it doesn't do what it's told, but I'm still on the younger side of old. I've traveled many hard roads, had mountains to climb. Life is so much easier on the downhill slide. I went over that hill so many years ago, but I'm still on the younger side of old. It's been so many years ago, I gave away my heart. My tank is full of gasoline, but my engine doesn't start. When it comes to loving, I can hold my own, 'cause I'm still on the younger side of old. I've traveled many hard roads, had mountains to climb. Life is so much easier on the downhill slide. I went over that hill so many years ago, but I'm still on the younger side of old. They say old age is golden, that old age sets you free, unlocks any door. Dang, where'd I put that key? Each night I work out, from the bed to the commode, but I'm still on the younger side of old. I've traveled many hard roads, had mountains to climb. Life is so much easier on the downhill slide. I went over that hill so many years ago, but I'm still on the younger side of old. Getting old is a privilege, I appreciate the chance. The band has long stopped playing, but I refuse to leave the dance. The lights are getting dimmer, but I'm not ready to go home, 'cause I'm still on the younger side of old. I've traveled many hard roads, had mountains to climb. Life is so much easier on the downhill slide. I went over that hill so many years ago, but I'm still on the younger side of old. They put me in a chair, but I still rock and roll, 'cause I'm still on the younger side of old. Yeah, I'm still on the younger side of old. Yeah. You can't keep a good senior citizen down, by golly.
No.
That's a fact.
Pat said, look back, you missed something, and I did look back. And the only thing I missed was, he said, George, it's very bad, and then he added, to be in that problem. And
Yeah.
then it went to Laura about the Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And then Pat again about his Trimmer's letting him down.
Okay, we're caught up.
Yep.
Okay.
And Libby said, I'm on the younger side of old too.
That's right.
It's there.
Well, folks, we got some revolutionaries down home. They're ready to fight to overthrow the establishment. But you know what? They're not human.
Uh-oh.
Here's a story about one such group. Fat and docile, big and dumb. They look so stupid, they aren't much fun. Cows aren't fun. They eat to grow to die, die to be at the hamburger fry. Cows well done. Nobody thunk it, nobody knew. No one imagined the great cow guru. Cows are one. He hid in the forest, read books with great zeal. He loved Che Guevara, a revolutionary veal. Cao Tse Tung. He spoke about justice, but nobody stirred. He felt like an outcast, alone in the herd. Cow dole drums. He mooed, we must fight, escape or we'll die. Cows gathered round, 'cause the stakes were so high. Bad cow pun. But then he was captured, stuffed into a crate, loaded onto a truck, where he rode to his fate. Cows are bummed. He was a scrawny calf who looked rather woozy. No one suspected he was packing an Uzi. Cows with guns. They came with a needle to stick in his thigh. He kicked for the groin, he spit in their eye. Cow well hung. Knocked over a tractor and ran for the door. 6 gallons of gas flowed out on the floor. Run, cows, run. He picked up a bullhorn, jumped up on the hay. We are free-roving bovines. We run free today. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. They crashed a gate in a great stampede, tipped over a milk truck, torched all the feed. Cows have fun. 60 police cars were piled in a heap, covered in cow pies, covered up deep. Much cow dung. Black smoke rising, darkening the day. 12 burning McDonald's, have it your way. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns. The president said, enough is enough. These uppity cattle, it's time to get tough. Cow dung flung. The newspapers gloated, folks sighed with relief. Tomorrow at noon, they would all be ground beef. Cows on buns. The cows were surrounded, they waited and prayed. They mooed their last moos, they chewed their last hay. Cows outgunned. The order was given to turn cows to whoppers, enforced by the might of 10,000 coppers. But on the horizon, surrounding the shoppers, came that deafening roar of chickens in choppers. We will fight for bovine freedom and hold our large heads high. We will run free with the buffalo or die. Cows with guns.
Oh my.
I tell you, there's some strange critters down home. There really are. Okay. Well. Somebody, one of Amber's friends, gave her a bunch of these little flavoring for drinking water packets.
Powder.
Yeah, it's a powder. You can get all kind of flavors, including some with electrolytes and all. She gave us a bunch of them, and by the time Wednesday rolled around and we finally got out of there, we'd used them all up. And she gave us each a water bottle. And
yes,
I used to use a Brita bottle, and this thing holds ice forever. So I put my Brita bottle aside, and we've got filtered water in the kitchen. So that's what I'm drinking today. Okay, well, our neighbors went on vacation here a while back and told us this story when they returned. Well, me and Doris went on vacation. We decided we need more than recreation, so we enrolled in a Bible camp retreat. I got the directions and we took off. It only took 6 hours to get completely lost way back up in the mountains of East Tennessee. Well, it was getting real dark and I was starting to fret. Doris said, "Look yonder, I bet that's it." And she pointed the lights to a little church way back in the woods. An old man met us, and I said, "Just two." He escorted us down to the very first pew. I said, "Doris, I don't think this is the right place." And she just said, "Hush." Well, they preached some sermons, sang some songs, then they preached some more, went on and on, nearly wore me out. I had about all I could take. Then they pulled down the shades and things quieted down. This guy next to me punched me and said, "Here, pass this down." I turned to look, and son of a gun, he handed me a snake. Oh, the night that me and Doris went running through the forest, way back up in the hills of Tennessee. Yeah, we started making tracks when they broke out the Diamondbacks. It sure scared the devil out of poor old Doris and me. He said, "Take it, man, don't you believe?" I said, "I believe all right, I believe I'll leave." And I reached for Doris, but she'd done fainted away white as a sheet. Now I couldn't pick her up, and I couldn't find the door, and them rattlers were crawling all around the floor, and friends, that's when the spirit hit my feet. I started running down the aisles and bouncing off the walls like somebody teed off a new golf ball in a tile bathroom, friends. I mean, I was moving on. I'd run past Doris every minute or two, trying to shake her or wake her, but it wasn't no use. For a while there, I thought the Lord had called the poor thing home. Then somebody dropped a big one in her lap. Doris come to and something in her snapped. She grabbed that thing by the tail and commenced a swinging it around her head. Then she gave it a crack like Lash LaRue. The head came off and sailed across the room. Then she did a tap dance on the rest of them suckers till they was all dead. Well, I grabbed her by the hand and we headed for the car when she hollered to the preacher, "I don't know who you are or where you come from or how you ever learned how to preach. But let me tell you something, you old raggedy scamp. You don't know nothing about running a Bible camp. Me and my husband are on our way to Daytona Beach." For the night that me and Doris went running through the forest, way back up in the hills of Tennessee. Yeah, we started making tracks when they broke out the Diamondbacks. It sure scared the devil out of poor old Doris and me. It sure scared the devil out of poor old Doris and me.
Oh my goodness. Libby said, George, you're on fire today. Great energy! Exclamation point.
Thank you. Yeah, I brought my best songs to that concert that I did, and
Yes.
because I suspect that was my last Autoharp gathering that I'll be able to attend. I don't know that for sure, but I played it like it was, and it was great. I mean, the California Autoharp Gathering is really, really cool because everybody's together. The performers live and eat with the participants. Some of them jam with us. There's jams going on till all hours of the night, and they start up before breakfast in the morning, and our room was right across from this porch full of chairs where everybody jammed. So every time I turned around, I was, jamming with people. And then I must have done something right, because after a while, every time we came out of there, they said, "Are you going to jam with us?" So, not right now. Indy's got to go pee,
Right.
Oh, okay. But it's just a great gathering. The food is terrific. And like I say, I had a guy by the name of Jeremy Clement that is a professional musician. I mean, that's how he earns his daily bread. And he took most of his meals with us and talked to us about, how to play for like assisted living facilities and places like that, and gave me a lot of good tips, about being a semi-pro, maybe making a little bit of money out of it, and told me a lot of stories about the road and everything. It was really really fun. If you ever can get out there, you really should do it, because it's the time of your life. You'll have the best time you've ever had anywhere. I bet. I just believe that. It's, if you're an Autoharp player. If you're not, then you probably don't want to go. But there were all levels of people, from Brian Bowers on down to folks who were just starting out with their harps, and everybody tried to help them get going and doing, helping them to learn songs and stuff. It was great.
Ricky's with us.
Hey,
She
Ricky.
said, got the dough off my hands long enough to say hi, ha ha.
Hey.
Been here since the beginning, loving the
Oh,
show.
good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes,
Hope everything's going well for you all up there in Westerville, Ohio.
yes.
Okay, so here comes the commercial. If there's anybody lurking out there that we haven't met yet, hey, throw us a comment. Tell us a little bit about yourself. We'd like to know a little bit about you, where you're from and what you're into, and that kind of thing, because we see this as just a bunch of neighbors getting together on the front porch, playing some music and having something nice to drink. So send us a comment. We do read all the comments, even if some come in, when somebody watches a little later on. Lynn monitors all the comments. And if you would like your own personal invitation to these shows, follow this page. Follow Autoharp Down Home, and you will get an invitation, usually on Wednesday. This time they didn't go out till yesterday, and that's probably why we don't have a lot of folks today. But Thursday was just a lost day. That's all there is to it. I wasn't worth a darn Thursday. So I got them out Friday morning, and so there we go. If I ever go on another one of these, I'm going to send them out early, but that might be almost as bad. Anyway, I'm glad for the people who are here. Love to perform for you and tell you a little bit about stuff that happened to us. If you want to ask me a question or something like that, don't put it in a Facebook message. I cannot read them, and I cannot respond to them, because a lot of the advances, shall we say, in accessibility have been rolled back by the latest administration, and Facebook promptly messed up the Facebook Messenger to where it doesn't work with screen readers. So if you would like to ask me a question or whatever, send me an email. I know they're antiquated and everything else, but send me an email to autoharp.down.home@gmail.com. autoharp.down.home@gmail.com. I respond to every email that I get in that mailbox, and that's all it's used for. And hey, if you know anybody who might like this kind of lunacy, tell them about it. Or maybe if you don't like them, tell them about it. Maybe they'll laugh themselves to death. It might work out. But if you know somebody who might like this, by all means, let them know. We do shows on the second and fourth Saturday of every month at 2 p.m. Eastern, 1 Central, 11 a.m. Pacific, and 7 p.m. GMT right here. This will be up for 30 days, and then Facebook will take it down. But you can view this and all our past performances on the Autoharp Down Home YouTube channel. So hop on over there. There's some single songs that I did when we were first starting out, and you can look at our first show and all the way up through. You can see how we've developed, how we've improved our photography and video and audio and all of that kind of stuff. So that's out there too, if you would like to listen to past shows. The next show, I believe, is going to be called On the Road, and it will be songs that have the word road, R-O-A-D, in their titles. And that will be 3 weeks from today, because there's a fifth Monday in May this year. So it will be on the 14th of May, I believe. That's
June.
Of June, rather. 14th of June. It'll be on Flag Day for us Americans over here. So, 3 weeks from now, we'll be back with you and sing songs with the word road in their titles, like On the Road Again by Willie Nelson and stuff like that. All right.
Mike Mueller is with us.
Hey, Mike!
He says, hi, George and Lynn.
Wow.
And then he said, George was awesome, referring to CAG. And then he said, hope the hotel treated you well.
They really did, and we got to stay there a lot longer than we planned because our flights kept getting canceled for weather in Dallas. We stayed Monday afternoon and all day Tuesday and well into Wednesday before we could get flights back out of there. But they were great. They really were. They were very nice. And I had only brought food for Indy through Monday afternoon because, naive me, I figured the flights would happen. So he didn't get anything to eat after that. And I called my vet and said, what do? I know better than to just go out and get some other strange kind of dog food. He'll just bring it back up. And he said, feed him either steamed rice or oatmeal. Mm-hmm. So we went down to the part of the hotel that serves the breakfasts in the morning, and they were just about to close up. And I went in and said, hey, I really, really need your help. Can you give me about a cup and a half of cooked, unflavored, unbuttered oatmeal? And they did, charged me for it, which didn't bother me. Left the lady a tip, and Indy got to eat finally. That was the thing that distressed me most.
Well, yes.
But hey, that's all right. It's over.
He worked very hard, that guy.
Yeah, he was working constantly at the gathering. But man, it was a great time. Thank you ever so much for inviting me again. I hope to get back out there, health and all permitting. I just had a terrific time. I was just telling the folks here a little while ago about how informal it is and how much fun we had and all the jams and all those kinds of things. Where there's a lady that sells homemade jams and jellies down there to finance one of the artists who comes to the gathering. I just can't thank you enough for inviting me, Mike. I really, really it meant a lot to me.
Laura said she's lying down while she said lying down while I listen to you, and then Mike said your favorite moment at CAG? Question mark. And Laura said the 13th is Saturday.
Oh, okay, that's right, because there's
and
30
the
more.
folk circle is meeting on the 14th.
Okay. And Mike asked what?
Wanted to know your favorite moment at CAG. That's hard to choose.
It's so hard to choose, but I think my favorite was when my favorite was when I was up there performing for everybody and and putting a smile on their face and everything. That goes without saying, but I jammed one afternoon with John. I can't remember his last name. The musician, the guitar player that can play like anything, and got into a whole lot of different music that was way out of my wheelhouse, and he and the other folks that were there helped me figure it out and brought me right along, and instead of just jamming and saying keep up if you can, kid, like they do at certain other Autoharp gatherings that I've been to. But I think overall, apart from my concert, were the jams that we were in, and then after the Thursday night concerts, when we all got together in the cafeteria, and Bay was there, and Meredith was there, and you were there, and a couple other folks, and we played music and stayed up until like 1:30 or 2 in the morning. That was certainly a high point too. And just as an aside, I am working with Meredith on her Facebook issues where the image is flipped.
Mike said John Massey.
Don Massey, that was it. I think it's actually pronounced Macy.
Macy,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that's who it was. So I'm still working with her, and I think we can fix it without her having to plunk down money for a computer. Now that I'm more familiar with what's going on, we're working on that. But it's so hard to. There were so many great concerts. 2 concerts by Brian Bowers, and those guys that did all the blues. One of them played the harmonica and the other played the guitar, and that fella's last name was Lee rather, that flat picked the guitar. Man, I bet Doc Watson was turning over in his grave, because that guy really could play that guitar. It was just one great act after another in the concerts. I actually had people attend my workshops for the first time in any gathering I've ever had. Had 15 for my workshop on bluegrass, and we had a good time. We got a lot of laughs, because I want them to flick and pluck. And we coined a term for that. We call it flucking. So they'll remember how to do it, I'm sure. And of course, Where Cow. Everybody loves Where Cow.
Yes.
I got mooed again. And then some people mooed me when I did the other song, Cows with Guns. So I don't know. There were so many great things. And I told the folks earlier, if there's any way you can get out there, get there.
Mike said blues was Tom Ball and Kenny Salton.
That's right.
And guitar was Ian
Lai. Well, I think it's pronounced Lee, actually.
L-Y.
I know, but he's Asian. I think it's
Lee.
pronounced Lee, as in L-E-E.
Ian Lee.
Yeah. And I talked to him for a little while too. So anyway, shucks, if I can get the money together and get me a companion, I might actually buy a ticket next year. Oh boy. So now we're going to do, I guess, what is my signature song, thanks to Bay Allen, who in 2021 started this whole deal. And it's called, well, I'm just going to go into it. We've all got problems. I've got problems. You've got problems. We like to tell other people about our problems. But sure enough, some sanctimonious son of a gun will come along and say, well, you know, if you look around, you'll find someone with a bigger problem than you've got. And I used to hate people like that until I found out that it's true. There's a old boy down home here who's got a problem that is so devastating and so debilitating that every time I get depressed, I kind of think of him, and things don't seem so bad. Here's his story. There's a full moon in the pasture tonight. Hangs like a fine and polished pearl, so pure and white. The average guy finds so much beauty in its light. But I'm a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a werecow. And now I'm stuck. It seemed so innocent when Bossy bit my hand. I was just trying to milk her, but I didn't understand. That Bossy really was Pierre the handyman. He was a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. He was a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. He was a werecow. You know, folks, the first time I ever sang that song in front of a live audience was at the California Autoharp Gathering in the fall of 2021. They held it later because of COVID. It was real close to Halloween, so I figured it'd be a good idea to sing it. And the strangest thing happened. Turns out there was werecows right there in that audience. And when they heard me mooing, well, you know, the herd instinct kicked in. They couldn't help themselves, and they started mooing right along with me. So if there's any bovanthropes out there listening, that's a 50-cent word for werecow. And you want to moo along with the herd, well, you go right ahead. We'll understand.
You've been mooed before.
I have. By day I work the fields here on my daddy's farm. By night I roam the neighbor's place in search of corn. Chewing my cud and trying to keep my udders warm. I'm a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a werecow. The mornings after always make my family wince. I know it's hard for them to try and make some sense. Finding me naked with my head stuck through a fence. I'm a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a werecow. I found this gypsy who said she could break the curse. I found this gypsy who said she could break the curse. Said that she sympathized with me, but she'd seen worse. Lon Chaney Jr. used to be a client of hers. She was pretty, wore a real nice dress. Shoot, I was impressed. She asked for money and I gladly said I'd pay. But when she said $1 million, I swear I was enraged. So I bit that gypsy, and now, well, we're engaged. She's a werecow, like me. Moo, moo, moo. She's a werecow. Moo, moo, moo. She's a werecow. And a right pretty little heifer she is too. These days the sheriff lets me spend the night in jail, so I won't hurt nobody when the moon turns pale, or end up some entree at the local steak and ale. I'm a were-cow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a were-cow. Moo, moo, moo. I'm a were-cow. That was your last chance, were-cows.
Mike says moo.
I'm really moved. Somebody call a vet. Yeah, I think I'm getting a touch of milk fever. I'm a were-cow. So I am mighty proud to say I was the first person ever to be mooed at the California Autoharp Gathering. You know, we could make a movie with all y'all as the stars. And maybe we could get them cows with guns to protect us on the set. Well, I guess I milked this subject dry. So I guess I'll steer this performance in another direction before it becomes utterly ridiculous. Here's a story about a person down home who, let me before I do this, let me get some water here. All right. Here's a story about a person down home who learned the truth in the expression, "You can't get there from here." I started on a journey many years ago to a little town called Morrow in the state of Ohio. I've never been much of a traveler, and I really didn't know that Morrow is the hardest place I'd ever try to go. So I went down to the station for my ticket and applied for tips regarding Morrow, not expecting to be guide. Said I, my friend, I'd like to go tomorrow and return no later than tomorrow, for I haven't time to learn. Said he to me, now let me see if I have heard you right. You'd like to go tomorrow and return tomorrow night. You should have gone tomorrow yesterday and back today, for the train that goes tomorrow is a mile upon its way. If you had gone tomorrow yesterday, now don't you see, you could have gone tomorrow and returned today at 3. For the train today, tomorrow, if the schedule is right, today it goes tomorrow and returns tomorrow night. Said I, my friend, it seems to me you're talking through your hat. There is a town named Morrow on the line, now tell me that. There is, said he, but take from me a quiet little tip. To go from here tomorrow is a 14-hour trip. The train today tomorrow leaves today at 8:35. At 10:30 tomorrow is the time it should arrive. So if from here tomorrow is a 14-hour jump, can you go today tomorrow and get back today, you chump? Said I, I'd like to go tomorrow, so can I go today and get tomorrow by tonight if there is no delay? Well, well, said he to me, and I've got nothing more to say. Can you get anywhere tomorrow and get back again today? Said I guess you know it all, but kindly let me say, how can I get tomorrow if I leave this town today? Said he, you cannot go tomorrow anymore today, 'cause the train that goes tomorrow is a mile upon its way. I was so disappointed, I was mad enough to swear. The train had gone tomorrow and had left me standing there. My man was right in telling me that I was a howling jay. I could not go tomorrow, so I guess in town I'll stay.
Libby said, "Oh gosh, George, you took that moo cow to the limit. Utterly ridiculous."
Yes, it was, wasn't it?
And Ricky said, "Was at the fireworks display at Park of Roses, and when it was over, they didn't turn the lights back on, and we were in the pitch dark.
Yeah.
Darkness, all moving in a tight pack, just following the folks in front of us. No one could see a thing. Then someone said moo. The whole crowd joined in. Memorable, LOL."
See, if I had been there, my dog and I would have led you all out of there.
Exactly.
Penny did that once. We went back with some city folks. We went down to my parents' farm because they wanted to watch a total eclipse of the moon. So I took them way back in the woods to this hunter's camp, and the eclipse happened, and it got dark because there aren't any street lights or any of that stuff,
No.
and these people
Seriously couldn't see.
could not see. And they're out in the woods, and they're hearing all these sounds and stuff. They don't know what they are. And they started to panic. And I said, look, you have to stay with me, because there's big, deep gullies around here you can fall into. You'll get lost. And, people have starved to death out in these woods. You can't do that. And so I had a Doberman guide dog named Penny. Ricky knew her. And I said, I want everybody to line up behind me and grab the belt or the waistband of the pants of the person in front of them, and don't let go no matter what happens, and we'll get out of here. And so I had 6 or 8 people, and I said, Penny, forward, let's go home, and took them out till they finally got to the main road where they could see area lights and stuff. So my dog led all this big long line of city slickers out of the woods.
Yeah. Laura said NASA launched several Holsteins into orbit. It was called the Herd Shot Round the World.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's funny, Laura. No mercy. This song is dedicated to the person down home who single-handedly tried to turn our local convenience store into a drive-through.
Uh-oh.
He had a cheeseburger in one hand, French fries propped up on the seat, an ice cold cola in his cup holder, and to make the scene complete, he was searching for a pen and paper to make a note of things to take home. Still, he might have missed that concrete truck, but he was talking on his mobile phone. Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. Put down that phone, put both hands on your steering wheel. Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. That ain't no phone booth, son, it's your automobile. She had that vanity mirror down in her face, messing with her hair, in her high-rise four-wheel drive, sitting way up in the air. She just put on her makeup, plugged her curling iron into the dash, but when she tried to dial her mobile phone, that's when she heard the crash. Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. Put down that phone, put both hands on your steering wheel. Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. That ain't no phone booth, girl, it's at your automobile. You've seen them out there, friends, it's scary. Every Tom, Dick, Jane, and Mary driving with a phone stuck in their ear. Laughing, crying, yelling, talking. Those same folks can't chew gum while walking. What makes them think they can talk on the phone and steer? Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. Put down that phone, put both hands on your steering wheel. Hang up and drive, you're driving me crazy. That ain't no phone booth, son, it's your automobile. I said that ain't no phone booth, son, it's your automobile.
Yeah. Laura said, Roy Blunt Jr. told that joke on a Prairie Home Companion joke show of 1998.
Well, I'd like to hear that show.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a bunch of those out there archived, but I don't know where they are. I've just heard that they exist. I would download every one of them, and I would go on a week-long Garrison Keillor binge. That guy was so great.
He was.
Folks, this is a true story. I'm not, a lot of people say this is a true story, and, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But this is a true story. We heard about it first on our local 6 o'clock newscast soon after we moved to Huntsville, Alabama. We started out there and moved around a lot, but we hadn't been down here very long, and we were still kind of getting used to it and figuring out how to get along with the natives and all of that. And this story came on the news. Like, you can't make this stuff up. So Ray Stevens wrote a song about it, and someone certainly was going to.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Family Funeral Fight. And it was literally a funeral for an old fella who had been in the military that devolved into a riot. Now, only down here would that happen, So, here's the story. Now, he was just a little fella, barely 5'3", but he caused a great commotion down in Ducktown, Tennessee. Now, it wasn't nothing that the old man did or one word that he said. In fact, trouble didn't start till 3 days after he was dead. It was a military funeral with the family gathered round, come to show the old man honor and to ease him in the ground. But murmurs spread among the crowd and the mourners' blood ran cold when up pulled the big old squad car marked Tennessee State Patrol. It was the old man's youngest son, doing 25 to life, for burning down his brother's trailer and running off with his wife. The entire family was divided, held together by a shaky truce. And then a woman yelled, "I still love you, Earl," and all hell broke loose. Brothers, uncles, sisters, cousins, knife and fist fights by the dozen, yelling, spitting, fighting, hitting. What a sight to see at the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. It started in the afternoon and lasted half the night. 10 were stabbed, 2 were shot, nobody walked or talked quite right. After the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. Well, they called out the county mounties, more highway patrol, and after about an hour or two, they finally gained control. The sheriff said, "This is a disgrace, and I'm hauling all y'all in, but not until we brought this service to a decent end." So the honor guard stepped forward, fired their rifles in the air. An old lady who was snoozing jumped and fell out of her chair. As soon as she hit that AstroTurf, you won't believe what happened then. A boy yelled, "Oh, they shot Grandma," and here we go again. Mourners, police, honor guard, relatives from near and far, cussing, fussing, biting, hitting. What a sight to see at the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. It started in the afternoon and lasted half the night. 10 were stabbed, 2 were shot, nobody walked or talked quite right. After the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight, it was a Ducktown knockdown family funeral feud. You can't believe the mayhem and the chaos that ensued. Why, they even shot the sheriff, punched out the preacher's lights at the Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight. The Ducktown knockdown family funeral fight.
All right. See, Livy said, "See you tonight, George. Enjoyed your show." And then Laura said, "I got it on tape," meaning the Garrison.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And then Livy said, "Going to take my aunt for supper after I bring her a 15-chord Autoharp to see if she'd like to borrow it. She loves music, but the ukulele wasn't her thing."
Well, I hope she likes the harp. I hope she'll learn to play it. I'm sure that there's a lot of songs that can be played on the uke, but you know, I'll stick with my big box of strings. Anyway, I will let you go, Libby, and see you tonight. And I'll probably, just play some of the stuff from the show here.
Laura said, "My piano teacher in college used to sing 'Midterm is Here, Oh Midterm is Here' to the March Funebre by Chopin.
Oh, yeah.
I heard you hinting it, and it made me think of that."
Here's a story about a fella down home who tried to save a little money. And this one was played by Brian Bowers. It's called "Good Old Car." Nothing like working on your good old car, save yourself a little bit of dough. You start out not knowing a lot, but you got the whole day, don't you know? It's a beautiful day, not a cloud in the sky, got the baseball on the radio. Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of dough. Something's the matter with this stubborn old nut, it certainly is on there good. You twist a little harder and you snap the sucker off, just like you were afraid that you would. But don't get mad, it's just a little thing, you can deal with it later, let's go. Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of dough. Here come the neighbors asking stupid questions, full of even dumber advice. Just about the time you get a beat on the bugger, you get a dose of rust in your eyes. It's hard to take the pain when you try to bend your head some way the Lord never meant it to go. Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of dough. Just enough room to jam your fool head, laying half into the street. Praying there ain't some space cadet driving across your feet. You got bad claustrophobia with all of that over you, hoping that the jack don't go. Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of dough. You finally got it apart, it's just about dark. Are you ready for your next surprise? The part you went to get, it doesn't quite fit, 'cause they don't still make that size. The shop will get it in the morning, but they gave you fair warning, it'll be an extra 100 for the tow. Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of go. Yes, sir! Nothing like working on your good old car to save yourself a little bit of dough.
Oh, my. Laura said, see you tonight. I gotta go soon.
Okay. Look forward to it. We got one more here. But before I sing my last song, I want to leave you with this thought. We don't quit playing because we grow old. We grow old because we quit playing. So don't ever quit playing, folks. I'll close with a story about a town down home called Johnson City and its really hard problem. That's outside of Johnson City, on a dark and twisting road, in a Kenworth 18-wheeler with a heavy shifting load. He was pushing through to Binghamton, though the hour was getting late. Pfizer's finest on a mission to the pharmacies upstate. He was on a holy mission, there were men who couldn't wait for his 38,000 pounds of Viagra. He'd clocked 700 miles since he climbed into the rig. Just another 25 or so, finish up that gig. But the trailer hit an oil slick and down the hill did fly. Oh my, till it landed at the bottom in the town's water supply. It was instant rigor mortis, what a hard way to die. Save your sons, shield your daughters, there's Viagra in the water. All over Johnson City, people rising with the dawn. They drank their morning coffee, took their showers, watered lawns. And who could have predicted all the changes up ahead? Men were getting up for work and heading back to bed. So many called in sick, you would have thought a virus spread. Down at the courthouse coffee shop, some stared in disbelief as a pack of thirsty lawyers started filling out their briefs. But at the local college, young men appeared much smarter. No chromosomal mystery, they simply studied harder. Now water on the rocks is the latest party starter. Save your sons, shield your daughters, there's Viagra in the water. The Johnson City firemen cursed their wretched luck. They could not get their fire hoses wound back on the truck. Sprinkling holy water at a funeral, Father Ryan said, I know I've saved their souls, but I've never raised the dead. Would a couple of strong men help me now to close the casket lid? Old man Weisberg took the shower of his life. Then he marched into the kitchen and he called out to his wife. She knew something was up as he stood naked at the table, holding 2 cups of coffee and a half a dozen bagels. It had been at least a decade since the last time he was able. Save your sons, shield your daughters, there's Viagra in the water. Believers seeking miracles pilgrims came in hordes. The waters of Viagra grew more popular than Lourdes. The clergy quoted scripture, but they found it hard to sell that those who chose to be anointed were pointed straight to hell. Despite the dire warnings, the crowds began to swell. Some hardened politicians came into town one day. With their permits and their pipelines, pumped the waters all away. From the heart of Johnson City rose the mournful cry of men, but the women knew another truck was coming through again. Don't worry, there's a truck next week. We'll spread the oil again. Save your sons, shield your daughters. There's Viagra in the water. Save your sons, shield your daughters. There's Viagra in the water. Yep.
Ricky said, still working on cars and tractors. Ugh.
Yep. Yep.
Laura said, oops, I meant tomorrow. I am singing with the choir tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to thank everybody that came by today and listened to the reprise of my California Autoharp Gathering concert. People really liked it. I got a lot of compliments on it, and it's certainly a high point in my musical life. Don't forget, you can go to our website, autoharpdownhome.com, and pick up a copy of our Forever Friends CD if you haven't already, and you can play CDs. We're becoming a rare breed, I understand that. But if you do buy one, all the money goes back to Dogs Inc., the people who trained my great guide dog Indy, who did so well last week under such trying circumstances.
Yes.
He was great. And while you're there, click the donate link and send us a little money. It opens up a PayPal link where you can give us a little bit of money if you feel like it. If you don't, that's okay too, but we'd appreciate it if you'd do that. The website is there. It talks about, when relevant, it talks about, appearances and places we're going to be and things like that. And that's autoharpdownhome.com. https://autoharpdownhome.com. And this will be up for 30 days, as I said earlier. And then if you want to listen to it or any of our earlier shows, go to YouTube and look for Autoharp Down Home, and you'll find our channel. If you like what you see in here, we'd appreciate it if you'd give it a like and hit the subscribe button. Now, as I said earlier, the next show is going to be called On the Road. The songs will all have the word road, R-O-A-D, in their titles, and a lot of them are new. A lot of them are songs I have not played before, so I'm glad there's a 3-week break because I probably need it to learn them all. And finally, folks, I'd like to close with this thought, and it isn't here. My last thought has flown.
Oh, no.
Let's see. Trouble comes when your want to gets ahead of your can do. So long, everybody. Now it's time to say goodbye to good old George and Lynn. We'd sure like to thank you folks for kindly dropping in. You're all invited back real soon to this locality to have a heaping helping of our hospitality. Down home style, that is. Set a spell. Take your shoes off. Y'all come back now here.
And.